Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am Shenell Felix, and this morning we're going to kickstart our conversation by continuing the conversation actually on one that we had yesterday with Mrs. Natasha Ann Second, and on Monday we would have spoken to Miss Chrislyn Moore. This morning we have another candidate on the screen who is also vying for that position of chairman of the party. Assemblyman Trevor James. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Shenell. It's good to be here. Good morning, Tobago.
Well, I had the opportunity to speak with two of your competitors vying for this position, and this morning I am blessed to be able to speak with you as well. Now, before we get into the actual elections that are heating up, everyone wants to know, why does Trevor James want to compete for the chairman of the T.P.P party?
Shenell, the chairman of the party, especially the first chairman of the party, must embody the membership of the party, must embody the struggle for autonomy, must understand that he or she is the representative of the rank and file of the party to the executive council and to the political leadership. I started this journey in this active politics when I was asked to run the campaign for the PDP then in 2017 as their campaign manager. And I think I have now developed the political experience, the managerial experience, of course, I've had for years, and I have the government management of the public service, public sector experience that I think are necessary ingredients that should help the chairman carry out the role that is necessary, not only to build out the structures of the party, which is critical, but to do so expeditiously and to ensure that every member of the party has a fair chance to participate at whatever area they wish to participate.
Right. And do you plan to present yourself for public office again in the next elections? And how do you plan to manage, again, being the chairman of the party, controlling the overall campaign for that general election and that THA election while managing your own campaign, if that is the case?
Again, it's the organizational structuring. The idea that I've heard floating about is that active secretaries ought not to run for executive membership. I think if you extend that to the logical extreme, what you are saying is that your chairman will become an independent person who is a full-time employee of the party, because anyone else has a day job. The idea that someone cannot carry out these two functions simultaneously falls when we understand, of course, that the political leader who has the biggest job in the country is also on the executive. When we understand that the deputy political leader, who probably has the second biggest job, is also on the executive and has executive functions. Not only that, we must understand that we are not starting today. We are not rebuilding the wheel today. We have examples of political entities who have been successful, and we must look at those entities and take the successes, successful structures, and better them. In the PNM, Mr. Young, who is a senior minister, is the chairman. In the UNC, I think the guy named is Tanku, who is a representative, who is the chairman. And people see nothing wrong with that. I don't think it is if you're an assemblyman, you somehow will lose your ability to manage your time. Or if you are working outside of the assembly and you have a job in the division or a job in the private sector, that you somehow are better able to manage your time. I don't think it's that at all. I think we have to get to the place where we analyze the offerings before us and we make the best choice and stop trying to make present these ideas that somehow there is a need for separation of the executive. The chairman represents the party issues to the political executive, and that entity in my opinion, is best served being part of the executive, the political executive as well.
Right. And from the conversation that we've been seeing unfolding on social media in regards to this internal election and the inclusion of a number of members of the THA executive being on the executive of the party, from what I've seen, the conversation surrounds accountability and not having that repetition of everything that's happening at the executive council level happening at the party level. Where does the separation occur when most of the members of the executive are on the executive for the party? Who determines which of the candidates are going back into office? Who determines how you separate those issues at the THA level from the party level and ensure that level of accountability and transparency from members of the party to the executive?
Well, again, Shenell, I don't see the issue. When I look at the list of candidates, I don't see a majority of assembly persons on the list. I see a few. Also, the party is going to build out the organs of the party. The executive will build out the organs of the party. It is from the action groups that nominations come for members. The executive will have committees to deal with that and to make representation. So I don't see that there is a need to decide that persons who are in the political executive, in the THA executive, to be debarred from being part of the party executive because there might be collusion in some way. I don't think that at all. Otherwise, you will have a political leader who is not the chief secretary, and so on. If you extend the logic out, so I don't see that at all.
Okay, and you are going up against two very powerful women, one in Attorney Crystal Moore and the other in Natasha second. Now, with Natasha Ann second, we've seen her kind of leading the charge and the conversation when you guys were doing that party launch and a number of initiatives, kind of being very vocal here on Tobago updates for the party. And a number of persons would have expected that, you know, with the work that she was putting in to get the party registered and all of that, that she would have automatically, you know, gone unopposed as a number of the positions on the executive for chairman. After seeing all that work that she would have done, why do you think it's important to still have that level of democracy for that chairman position?
Competition is good. I don't think. A friend of mine, a couple of years ago, told me that there is no king in Igbo land. And he repeated it a few times, and I began to research this idea of no king in Igbo land. And essentially, the theory behind that is saying that you don't build something for yourself. We are building this thing for the next generation, for the diaspora Tobagonian in Trinidad and wherever they are around the world. This Tobago People's Party is for all of us, and the competition is good. And nowhere should we expect that we should have an appointed chairman. The chief secretary and political leader interim took a decision to appoint committees, and Ms. Second, I suppose, did a great job in getting us to this point. But now we need to transition from that interim place to the actual executive, and the competition for position is good, and you know, the best person will win. The party membership will look at the offerings before them and will make a choice as to who they think they wish to lead the organs of the party, who they wish to build all the organs of the party, and we would see how it goes on Monday night.
Okay, and another one of the things that continue to come up in the conversation about one of your competitors is Attorney Crystal Moore. You know, in her history as being a political leader for the Tobago Forwards, persons are seeing if she is the chairman of the party, then it's just the same old party with a new logo, new symbol. How do you feel about that conversation being carried about in the space?
Well, I don't want to comment on whether Ms. Moore being chairman will somehow make the T.P.P. A replica of some older party. I really don't believe that. I think Ms. Moore is a competent person. The issue before the membership is how you strategically select someone, or why you strategically select someone to lead, and the experience, the expertise, and the benefit of having a specific person lead the party. So I wouldn't go to that place where I would say that, you know, either Miss Second or Miss Moore are bad candidates. I think I present myself because I believe I'm a better candidate. I believe my history since coming into public office is clear, that if you give me a task to do, that I will do it quickly, and I will do it I will do it to the best that it could be done. Other people have other experiences and other history, and all the power to them for that. But you know, we have to be clear that we want to ensure that every member has an equal chance, that no member is disenfranchised in this process and after this process, that there's a level of inclusivity that will pervade the party. And we want to make sure when we vote, ordinary members, when you vote not for slates, but for individuals. You know, and I've made a statement on this slate thing, you know, in a post, and I've seen some comments on it and so on. But we have to remember that we don't allow history to repeat itself in this new thing that we are trying to build. We have struggled for 2 years in trying to get to this place. The history of slates in political parties shows that the creation of slates and smaller groups in the political entities are in fact the beginning of the fracturing of the party. It has happened in the DAC after Robinson left and Troy became leader in 96. We saw the party splitting because of these groups of people who felt they should lead and couldn't get to lead. We saw it in the T.P.P. We saw it in the Forwards. We saw it in the PNM after Orville, where these slates develop. And if you're on one slate or you're not on the next slate, if your slate win, you get disenfranchised, you can't get a job or a benefit or whatever largesse you expect. And that to me is a critical thing. We need people, we need the membership to look at every candidate, not at slates, to look at every candidate and determine for yourself whether James is the best candidate, whether Ogis is the best candidate, whether Moore is the best candidate, and you vote individually. And you expect that when that group is successful after the election, you expect that group of people will work together. When you go to slates, what you are suggesting is that my slate should become predominant in the party. And that is a fear, that is a risk of fracturing the party and going the way of political parties before us, of splitting up. And we want to guard against that strongly.
All right. And please tell us, what are some of your plans and your overall vision for the position of, well, for the party in your position as chairman, and encourage the members of your party to come out and be a part of that election come Sunday the 30th.
Well, I'll take the last one first.
All right.
I believe T.P.P members, T.P.P people, my apologies, this opportunity will come every 2 years according to the Constitution. And this is probably the most critical point in our development. It is the first executive that will be voted in, one man, one vote. And it is our duty on Sunday to come out and make sure that the right people are the helm of the party to lead the party. The party has to develop strategies, and you need people who understand vision and who have the ability to translate the vision into measurable, deliverable projects. You know, the history that I have presented to the people of Tobago clearly shows that in 2021, the major strategy of the PDP election was based on the Scarborough Development Plan. That's a vision that I conceptualized, transformed it into a project, into something that can be delivered to the people. And that is a kind of expertise that you want. You want someone who can build out organizational structures to improve performance and efficiency and so on. You see it now at the division which I lead. When we got there, every project was being done externally. Now we have restructured the division, and we are seeing the benefits of that, where public service workers are now executing most of the projects and are doing a great job of doing that as well. And so you need that kind of experience to ensure that the guy in Castara and the guy in Delaford and the man in Charlottesville and Belgarden and so on have an equal chance to be part of this growing phenomenon that we're building. And you need people at the helm who understand how to bring that whole group of people together and to have all the structures and all the organs developed to such a way where each heart and each lung and each vein and each sinew is working together to move the thing forward in a manner where Tobago benefits.
All right.
And I think Trevor is the man for that.
All right. Well, you heard it here, guys. Mr. James is offering himself for that position of chairman during that internal T.P.P elections come Sunday, the 30th of June. And if you are a part of that party and you are registered to vote, come out and vote. And similar to what was said yesterday, if you're not voting, you can also help the candidates by campaigning on their behalf. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back right after this.
Thank you.